Did you know before I got into Bitcoin, I was heavily into silver? Silver will outperform Bitcoin next year. Find out how. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, whenever you are. Thank you for watching this video. My name is Davinci Jeremy. I'm in the pipe 5x5 in the cold Dubai. Yes, that's why I'm wearing this hoodie here, because it's sub-zero. It's minus 10 from 30. 20 degrees. It's cold. Yes, and then they're saying there's going to be thunderstorms here and possibly hail and all that kind of nonsense, right? But hey, hopefully they didn't actually cause that, because they can make it rain here, but they stopped doing that ever since they had the flood. But anyways, with that said, Dubai is great and lots of fun, but silver, man, silver's gone absolutely ballistic in the last little while. Most of this move for this year, right, because it's up 120%, it's occurred in the last 3 months. So what's going on? Well, looking at it closely, right, I've already documented this on Twitter. It's clear that the powers that be have lost control. You see, what happened was they understood they had to maintain the pressure price of of silver down. So they created certain systems in place. They put systems in place to ensure that silver's price kept down. Some of them were illegal and some of them were legal, meaning they just created laws making it easier for you to push the price of silver down, right? Without breaking any laws. And obviously they make it very illegal if you try to push the price up. So over time, what happens is if you keep the price of an asset or commodity that we use, right? What happens is that people don't assume that you're trying to keep the price down. They think that the market's fair and honest and so forth, because they're full of people just have some mental problems, not understanding that the government is evil, and that's why they call it a necessary evil, not something that's good. It's a necessary evil, thus inherently evil. Okay? Right? Now, effectively, right, these necessary evils, right, obviously want to work, do not have to worry about money, right? And so they create paper money, and they want to keep that paper money valuable, right? Same with the banks who created the money as well. And then they got also the corporations who want to use silver for cheap, right? Who understand the scam and then realize that they need to keep the price down as well. There's a trifecta basically going on. Yes, they did get caught. Some people did get caught pushing the price of silver down and screwing over investors, and they lost. And then they had to pay a fine and go to jail for billions of dollars. Yes, they got caught and all that. But it doesn't matter. They kept pushing the price down. Now, there's an end result to that, right? Of course, right? Because although they're constantly doing that, they never really think long term. And what happened was we ended up using all the silver, so much so that it became a deficit for mining. Right? We're currently mining at a deficit. And all the silver is used up and gone into landfills and so forth. And it can't be recycled unless the price, of course, is the price of gold. So it's gone forever, right? Until it matches the price of gold, of course. Because obviously there is a price to get it back. It's a lot higher, right? And if you study why it has to meet the price of gold, you'll be shocked, right? But you have to do that studying yourself. I'm not going to give you all the information. Because once you look at silver, you'll be like, what? I want you to get shocked on your own. So yeah, it's very interesting, this particular metal, right? And it's also considered a monetary metal. Now, we're at a point where there isn't enough silver. We're using it more and more in, different applications, mostly clothing, believe it or not, and what's it called? Solar panels. Sorry, solar panels. We're using it in solar panels. Now that we're using it in solar panels, and also now EV, electrical vehicles, right, and their batteries, right? It's these companies, right? They don't care that there's a shortage of silver. They just care about getting their assembly line going. They just need silver, and that's that. They don't care what they have to pay for it, because honestly, when they use it in a very small application, right? And because they use it in a very small application and they have to sell a lot of units, they have to have a lot of silver, right? So it doesn't matter what price they have to pay. They're going to pay. And since we know that, if you just need something and you need it no matter what, well, then you just need to upgrade your pricing. So we're going to see silver severely outperform Bitcoin next year. It will do. You know what? I don't want to give you price targets, but I know that it's going to be over $100 for sure. And we're going to be seeing a time in the future, right? So you can hold on to your silver, like you don't have to hold on to all of it, right? Just like, I prefer if you hold on to all of your Bitcoin, because Bitcoin's different. Bitcoin will be the money. Silver will not, okay? Because neither will gold. I mean, gold will always still function as a monetary asset for quite some time, but it won't be as relevant. But anyways, I digress. So you can actually divest from silver if you buy here, right? And hold on to some physical, not your paper silver, because because it's already a strategic asset. They know they're just going to confiscate that from you, just give you some dollars. So if you hold on to your physical silver, you will eventually, right? So you could sell some, of course, here and there, right? As the price continues higher. But if you hold on to some of them, you'll see it come up to the price of gold eventually one day. Why? Because the only way for them to get enough silver, right, to manufacture all the goods, and that's of course also assuming they do not replace silver as another way of producing solar panels. But they can't, right? And most things can't replace silver. So you can't replace silver you can't find another metal that does for your clothing that kills bacteria. There's nothing else, right? There's nothing else that's not lethal to humans, at least that I know of. And then of course you can't. Anything else that you use, the bacteria can actually become stronger than that acid. Well, silver, the bacteria can't grow some sort of special immunity to silver. It's pure. It dies immediately on contact with silver. So this is why it's part of clothing. And so, it doesn't matter if silver gets up to the price of gold. It's still going to be useful in all these applications because they use small amounts of it, right? And I know you're saying at this point, is this a silver channel or a Bitcoin channel? Well, originally it was the silver channel. If you go all the way back to the very first video, that's what I did. I thought I was into silver. Now, with that said, right, I'm now back into Bitcoin. Bitcoin, it's a good asset to hold. And if you're interested in mining Bitcoin, right, I'm going to be doing a webinar with a good friend of mine, Mitch. He's an excellent miner and does providing some cool mining equipment that you might want to be interested in. And the links are in the description below. Okay, so once again, the webinar is at noon Eastern Standard Time, 9 p.m. PST, and 9 p.m. right, local time for Dubai. And this is Mitch, so he's going to be part of the webinar, and he'll be taking over. I'll be there, of course, and then he'll take over for the rest of the webinar. So I'm looking forward to see you guys during that webinar. It's going to be awesome. And yeah, let's do some Bitcoin technical analysis, right? Okay, we got wicked out just like that. Like, wow, it's just absolutely brutal. This was a perfect entry. We could have had our stop loss here, right? Or just a little bit higher. But it looks like it absolutely, like, oh my God. They went straight for the jugular. They even went for the people that had stop losses up here. Jesus Christ. This is trading like Forex market, man. Jesus. Absolutely. It's just they always go for your stops. I mean, this is free money for the banking system. Right? They do this all the time, right? On forex or what's it called, commodities exchange and so forth. So you can see that the institutional players are here. They're creating a nice W action, right? To say, hey, longs, go long. Look, we almost went along and then all of a sudden came back. This is something, and this is most likely just a if we go to another time pattern, right? This is like what's it called? It's called Darth Maul wick up and down. Jesus Christ, they are brutal. Went for you to go long and then wiped you out in the next candle, right? Or wiped out your short, just absolutely crushing. So what do you do here? I mean, obviously we are probably breaking down again. So you're looking to like, okay, well, you're out of your shorts. You're like, okay, what am I doing? If I try to go short here, this is probably the point of control. What do you do, right? And it's like, oh my goodness. They really make it really difficult to trade here. There's not much in the sense of like patterns that you could, like the way they designed it, the way they set this up is that there's not much of a pattern recognition you can do based on the price action. So if you're concerned, if you think that the price is going down, there's no entry. There's no you could take an entry, of course, anywhere, but there's no like, okay, here's my stop loss, here's my take profits within a reasonable range. If we were to try to do this, right, the only reasonable range for us to take that's this kind of trade is to enter maybe somewhere up here because, you know, it looks like they want to create a W action and then all the way stop losses up here. Brutal. So that's all we've got, right? And that's it. That's how we're going to trade this, right? Because that's all we got. So our entry effectively, let's just make this bigger so you guys can see this. 200. Our entry is $88,079. Our stop loss is $90,474, and our take profits is, as you can see, maybe you can see there. You can see it is $83,396. So that will be the trade for Bitcoin. Okay, that's all we've got. And now keep in mind, it doesn't give us it gives us a big percentage of taking a hit if we're wrong, right? At least on the last trade, we got out a break even. So I mean, we have to say that, right? Moving on to Ethereum, not much here. I think if we were going to go in a short here, you might want to wait for it to come back and then come back up and then give us an entry. Looking at the daily at least, and at the hourly, 4 hour, it is clear that we're on a downward trend. But I think this trend here is going to bend and give way, and I think we should have a little bit higher movement up to the 200 period moving average at the very least at $3,000, and then roll over. There is like that scary wick, so maybe we can like you can stop loss it up there or enter it up there. Actually, I would enter there. I'd enter a short there. That's it. I mean it's not the greatest. Probably won't hit, but that's the only way I'd trust this move at all. Stop loss it right up there, and we'll take profit right well into the below, because we're going to take this thing all the way down. So go for a 3-to-1 risk to reward ratio. So the entry for Ethereum is $3,030. The stop loss is $3,195, and the take profits at $2,529.47 approximately. All right, there you go. There's your trade for Ethereum. Now looking at Solana, Solana is in the same base case, right? You see there's a wick up here. Chances are we're going to come back to the 200 period moving average and then just die, basically. Just absolute die. So yeah, there's the entry. Unfortunately, your stop loss has to be a little bit higher, right up here. At the see, it's 5%. Jesus, doesn't give you any chance to maneuver. And then you can take the 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio, which comes right at there. I wouldn't risk it any further. I'd hold my stop loss, take my profits at a 1-to-1 ratio, and then see if I can see if it breaks down even further. But that's about it with Solana. Solana might reverse here, and I think same with Ethereum. So if you want, we can always go for a long, but unfortunately we have to wait for it to confirm, and there's no confirmation that it's going to reverse and give us a long at this point in time. So that's it. We either wait for we can wait for a long confirmation, which we're not even close to that. So we can't even say that, okay, this is going to reverse. Any of them is going to reverse and give us an entry. Can't say that. And so with that said, we just have to hope it does reverse and get into a short. All right, with that said, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I know I ranted a little bit long on silver. Hopefully I will see you once again at this webinar right here. The link is in the description below. Make sure you attend if you're interested in mining, of course. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you guys there. Enjoy the rest of your day, and hopefully I'll see you soon. Peace.